Welcome back. We're joined by Congressman Adam Schiff of California. He's the ranking Democrat, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, Donald Trump says he'd have direct talks with the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un if he were president. You say Trump's comments, in your words, threaten to turn American leadership on its head. You're the ranking member of the Intelligence Committee. What evidence is there that if there was a direct dialogue between an American president and the North Korean dictator, that could be dangerous to U.S. interests?
Well, look, what the North Korean dictator wants is he wants world acceptance of North Korea as a nuclear power. That has been vehemently opposed by the United States as well as the rest of the world. And by saying you would be happy to sit down with Kim Jong-un, by effectively praising the man for executing his own uncle, you are telling him that his nuclear program, the ballistic missile firings and testings, none of that is an impediment to having a good relationship with the United States. That very much turns U.S. policy on its head. I think it's a dangerous encouragement of the North Korean nuclear program in exactly the wrong direction. So I put that up there in the category of great statesmanship like Dennis Rodman.
Well, you remember in 2008, then Senator Barack Obama, he made it clear that the U.S., if he were president, should talk to enemies of the United States. And over these past 8 years, 7.5 years, there has been a dialogue with Iran, improved U.S.-Iranian relations, obviously the dramatic change in U.S.-Cuban relations. What's so different about Donald Trump saying he'd be willing to have a dialogue with Kim Jong-un?
Well, if you look at the president's actions, none of those meetings that the president has had with foreign leaders, let alone with adversaries, have gone without a lot of preparation and often with preconditions. And in fact, the president never met with the North Korean dictator, and for good reason, because it would reward exactly the kind of dangerous and provocative behavior, and nuclear behavior at that, that we are trying to discourage and turn back. So if you look at the president's actions, none of those meetings, most of them didn't take place. Those that did took place in a setting where there was an expectation of what the outcome of those talks would be.
The Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, says cyber hackers possibly working for foreign governments are now trying to infiltrate both the Democratic and Republican presidential campaigns. What are their intentions? Do you believe U.S. officials have a serious clue about what these alleged foreign government hacking operations may be trying to achieve?
Well, I think certainly what they're trying to get at is to determine what are the intentions of these two candidates, or more than two candidates. What kind of commander-in-chief would they be? What kind of thoughts do they have in terms of the relationship with these other countries? I'm sure they're interested to know whether, for example, some of these statements that you hear about meeting the North Korean dictator are in fact a reflection of what the candidate really thinks, or whether there's internal deliberations about why this might be politically wise to say, even if it's not something they intend to follow through. So there is value to be gained by foreign states in knowing sort of the private conversations of people running for president of the United States. There's also, I think people hacking in for political motivations. It's not just, I think, state actors that would be interested in hacking into these accounts or getting the private communications or just causing mischief to the websites or other campaign operations. So I think we're going to have to be on guard for this. I think the campaigns are certainly on notice, and this will be a continuing challenge.
And let's not forget, right after the conventions, both of the presidential candidates will start receiving daily intelligence briefings from the CIA. That's part of the routine that goes forward until the election. All right, thank you very much, Congressman, for joining us.
Thank you, Wolf.